So James Comey was indicted. Now, we knew this would happen. In fact, I've been telling you this is going to happen for a very, very long time. And despite whatever you may think about the charges, whatever you may hear from different pundits about these charges, Comey serves as yet another warning of what Trump is capable of making happen. Welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. We really got to get there. So please hit subscribe, watch, comment, and share. If we are going to do anything as a community, this is what we need to do. Grow. Now, I want to start by showing you a breakdown of the indictment and then go over MAGA's response and technically what this all means. All right, let me start by showing you this. The first thing is that the bare bones, 2-page indictment was signed only by Ms. Halligan, former defense lawyer for Mr. Trump, who personally presented the case to the jury, despite her lack of any previous prosecutorial experience. Typically, such filings are also endorsed by career prosecutors who have gathered the evidence in the case. It goes on to also say, charging document as consequential as an indictment as a former FBI director, the filing was not particularly revealing. It asserts that Mr. Comey falsely claimed during the hearing before the Senate Judiciary Committee that he had not authorized someone else at the FBI to be an anonymous source in news reports regarding an investigation into Person 1, which appears to be a reference to Hillary Clinton. That statement was false, the indictment charges, because Mr. Comey had in fact authorized Person 3 to serve as an anonymous source in news reports regarding an FBI investigation concerning Person 1. And then finally, document does not identify either Person 1 or Person 3, but at the hearing, Senator Ted Cruz, Republican of Texas, pressed Mr. Comey on whether he had ever authorized his former deputy, Andrew McCabe, to discuss an investigation with a reporter. Mr. Comey stood by his answers at past hearings and denied doing so. Career prosecutors who looked at the evidence against Mr. Comey thought the case was far too weak to justify an indictment, according to people familiar with the matter who spoke on the condition of anonymity. For one thing, the key exchange was brief. For another, it referred to testimony from 3 years earlier, and Mr. Comey said he stood by those answers without elaborating. Now, look, let me be very clear about something, all right? The documents will speak for themselves. See, I know this script. I lived it. And this morning, Trump, of course, he can't stay quiet on this issue. Trump posted the following on his Truth Social. In it, he turns around and he says, whether you like corrupt James Comey or not, and I can't imagine too many people liking him, he lied. It's not a complex lie. It's a very simple but important one. There's no way he can explain his way out of it. He is a dirty cop and always has been. But he was just assigned a crooked Joe Biden-appointed judge, so he's off to a very good start. Nevertheless, words are words, and he wasn't hedging or in dispute. He was very positive. There was no doubt in his mind about what he said or meant by saying it. He left himself zero margin of error on a big and important answer to a question. He just got unexpectedly caught. James Dirty Cop Comey was a destroyer of lives. He knew exactly what he was saying, and that it was very serious and far-reaching lie for which a very big price must be paid. President Donald J. Trump. Tell you what, he also said something else here. He says James Comey is a dirty cop. Make America great again. Okay. Well, let me say this, that both current FBI Director Kash Patel as well as Attorney General Pam Bondi, they also needed to weigh in, so they too posted on social media. Let me show you what they said. In it, the very first is from FBI Director Kash Patel. Today, your FBI took another step in its promise of full accountability. For far too long, previous corrupt leadership and their enablers weaponized federal law enforcement, damaging once proud institutions and severely eroding public trust. Every day, we continue the fight to earn that trust back. And under my leadership, this FBI will confront the problem head on. And nowhere was this politicization of law enforcement more blatant than during the Russiagate hoax, a disgraceful chapter in history we continue to investigate and expose. Everyone, especially those in positions of power, will be held to account no matter their perch. No one is above the law. Let me now turn around and show you from Attorney General Pam Bondi. No one is above the law. Oh, where did we hear that one before? Today's indictment reflects this Department of Justice's commitment to holding those who abuse positions of power accountable for misleading the American people. We will follow the facts in this case. Now, again, as I just said before, I know the script. I know the script because I lived it. In the early days, like what Comey's doing by going on and talking about it, putting out a video, you tell yourself, it's all a mistake. It's bullshit. Your lawyers, especially the expensive ones, they say that you're fine. We've got this. They whisper as if confidence alone is the legal defense. Then comes the arraignment, and suddenly the illusion cracks. The indictment transforms from a piece of paper into a death sentence for your reputation, your career, and your peace of mind. That's when the nightmare begins. And trust me, it doesn't end quickly. Now, I want to show you a clip of Dan Goldman, Representative Dan Goldman of New York, pointing out a potential flaw in the indictment. Play the clip.
Fundamentally, there's a major flaw here, which is that this false statements count is predicated on Ted Cruz's summary of Andy McCabe's testimony. If, as Ellie says, McCabe's testimony was different than what Cruz said, and in fact, he did testify that he told Comey the day after he actually did the leak. Well, of course, Comey couldn't have authorized it beforehand. And so that will essentially nullify any argument that this is a false statement, not to mention all the other requirements of materiality to the investigation, et cetera. But they're basing this on a summary of McCabe's testimony, not on McCabe's testimony.
Congressman, thank you for being here.
Yeah. If you believe what Dan Goldman is saying, it's easy for Dan Goldman to say it. I've met with Dan Goldman. Good guy. Okay. It's easy for Dan Goldman to say, you know why? Because he's not the one that was just indicted. Now, Jesse Waters, he tried to claim that this isn't revenge. Of course not. Part of the talking points. Play the clip.
These are actual crimes. Remember, they had to make up crimes to charge Trump. 34 felony counts, charges for a crime that have never been brought before in the history of our country. This isn't revenge. It's accountability. Biden gave Merrick Garland the green light to indict Trump, and they indicted dozens of high-ranking Republican officials and hundreds of Republican activists. They put a lot of people in prison. They censured us. They debanked us. They spied on parents. So this is nothing. So far, the Trump DOJ has indicted 2 Republicans, John Bolton and James Comey. And why would we believe Comey's side of the story? He lied about Russia for years. Now, he's innocent until proven guilty, and he's going to have to make his case in court.
Yeah. By the way, I don't agree with the way Jesse Waters is saying it, but the premise is right. Russiagate was not what it was described as. I never went to Prague and so on. And the Steele dossier, 11 allegations against me, all of them are lies. My hope, my personal hope, is that that information comes out so I can finally end that long chapter, 8 years of my life trying to explain it to people who don't care. That's the problem. They don't care about the truth. They only want to hear what they want to hear. Now, MAGA can do this. They can try to blame the indictment on Democrats, but we know that Trump has always had it out for Comey, and that Comey never had a chance, once Trump became president again, of avoiding this. Play the clip.
Comey and all this, sleazebags.
Comey lied to everybody.
Brennan.
We fired Comey, that fraud.
That phony, crooked Comey.
Comey should hang his head in disgrace. Comey is a dirty cop.
Comey is a corrupt person.
One of the best things is firing James Comey's out of there.
He's a leaker. Comey, who's the worst.
They lied to Congress many times. Comey and all those guys.
Comey lies and leaks. He's a liar and he's a leaker. Is this guy being looked at? But we're going to straighten it out.
A guy like Comey, who's a sick man. I mean, Comey's a sick man. The one person I did a very good thing in firing was the dirty cop Comey. There's something wrong with him. But it's all coming out, and I love to watch it step by step, day by day.
Comey's a liar and a leaker. I did you a great favor when I fired this guy.
Yeah, let me be very clear about something too. James Comey, he's more than just an individual. He is a warning to all the other people that I have constantly. I was on MSNBC on the weekend with Michael Steele and Alicia Menendez and Simone Sanders. I turned around and I said, Trump is going to do everything that he said he is. He's going to indict all of these people. And Michael Steele jumped up and he goes, on what charges and what charges? It doesn't matter. See, here's the mistake that people like Comey and others are making. They're underestimating Trump. They all believe the institutions are stronger than Trump's will. Thought the Department of Justice was still an independent agency. They assumed that judges and prosecutors would stand on principle. And I'm telling you from experience, wrong. Wrong again. Those guardrails are gone. This is Trump's DOJ now, staffed with loyalists like Pam Bondi, who understand their job is not justice, but it's retribution. And on top of that, you're going to get all of the MAGA enablers. You're going to get all of the MAGA surrogates coming out there, like Senator Lindsey Graham, who admitted the biggest problem with MAGA, he said, is that there is a cost to standing up to Trump. I mean, we are supposed to have free speech and live in a democracy, right? Play that clip.
He knew there would be a cost standing up to Trump. Everybody who stands up to Trump gets cheered on as a hero. Every accusation against Trump that's bad for him is assumed to be true. The question is there any cost to people trying to destroy President Trump's presidency, his personal life? Is there any cost in this country for lying to a court to push a warrant that you know is really not accurate?
Yeah. I mean, let me be very clear. This is not going to end well for Comey and for others. And finally, again, Representative Dan Goldman, he also spoke about the irony of what is happening in our democratic country. Play the clip.
How do you see this?
There's so many different directions to go towards. It is fundamentally a breakpoint in our system of government.
A breakpoint.
And the reason is the United States, for its entire history, has gone around the world promoting anti-corruption, promoting democracy. And the number one thing that our government insists upon in any other country that wants to be democratic, wants to get our support, is that the leaders do not use the criminal justice system to retaliate or to go after their political adversaries. This is open and shut, that is exactly what the Department of Justice has done. Donald Trump has laid it out. If this case even goes to trial and is not dismissed by vindictive prosecution, it's a non-starter. But it doesn't even really matter so much tonight, because even James Comey recognizes that the individual case against him is far less important than the damage this is doing and has done to the Department of Justice.
Sure, until ultimately the judge renders the decision. Because the truth is, James Comey, for all of his bluster, for all the fact that he's not afraid, he's not scared, he's not in control. He is the ham sandwich. And Trump, he's coming to the table hungry. And as always, thanks for listening. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.